But due to the pagan theme's focus on family and gratuitous display of human selfishness, Evangelion is gonna get a 7 out of 10.
Cut.
How was that? Was that good?
You said Evangelion instead of Christmas again.
Why do I keep doing that? Whatever, so do we do another take or move on to... Wait, how long has that been there?
Why does this keep happening to me?
So originally this script was like 25 pages long, and I was going to go over absolutely everything that happened in Chrono Trigger. That should give you an idea of how much I like this game. I was watching a video every day that I had downloaded that was the whole game. And instead of a review, I was making what was more of like a gameplay beat-by-beat commentary. Since then, though, the format that I make reviews in has changed a good bit, and I just don't know if it's actually worth it to make such a long and drawn-out video when most people have already played Chrono Trigger. But if you haven't, man, you're missing out. Chrono Trigger is one of those once-in-a-lifetime games that almost seems like it was destined to be made by fate or something. The amount of talented individuals that came together to make this product is astounding, and the chances of them all working on one thing has to be somewhere in the trillions. For the concept art and character design, we have Akira Toriyama of Dragon Ball fame. For supervision, Yuji Horii, who worked on the Dragon Quest series, and Hironobu Sakaguchi, who created Final Fantasy. For music, you've got the famed Nobuo Uematsu of Final Fantasy fame, and Yasunori Mitsuda of Secret of Mana, Final Fantasy, Mario Party, Bomberman, and Xenosaga. The story was written by Masato Kato of such games as Final Fantasy VII, Ninja Gaiden, and Xenogears. This is even where Tetsuya Nomura, the creator of Kingdom Hearts, started out. Every time I read the credits of Chrono Trigger, I absolutely lose my mind at all of the talented individuals that had something to do with its development. The story of Chrono Trigger follows a young self-insert mute who travels through time to save the world with his newfound friends. It has some real Persona 4 and 5 energy if you're familiar with that series. The game spins its tail while you pick up party members from every part of the universe's timeline to help you defeat the world-ending, planet-devouring beast known as Lavos. Though the story deals with some very depressing elements such as the end of life on the planet, genocide, and race relations, there is never a feeling that the overwhelming odds can't be defeated. Chrono and his friends are the power needed to change the world for the better, and you're along for the ride to make sure it gets done. The world of Chrono Trigger feels like it was crafted by the hands of a loving mother. Hironobu Sakaguchi created one of the most inviting and pleasurable universes I have ever experienced. Everything from sci-fi to medieval fantasy gets its time in the spotlight. The world feels colorful and lived in, only complemented by music that feels like honey to the ears, and god damn it, my phone is on. The world feels colorful and lived in, only complemented by the music that feels like honey to the ears even while coming out of the SNES sound chip. If you've ever played Chrono Trigger, you're already aware that it has one of the most memorable soundtracks ever created. I can whistle and hum almost any track off the soundtrack on command, and I've only beaten the game twice. Even while writing the script for this video, I stuck on the airship music because of how uplifting and inspirational it is. The sound effects are also generally in the same ballpark as well. Nothing you could use in a Hollywood film by any means, but with the pixelated, compressed... God damn it, why can't I say that? Nothing you could use in a Hollywood film by any means, but with the pixelated and compressed world the game portrays, the sound effects fit in believably and eloquently. There are very few things to complain about with these pixelated graphics as well. They all seem meticulously handcrafted, and each animation has so much energy and style that I can't imagine how long they must have taken to make. The only thing that Chrono Trigger does that I don't like in the graphics department is some of the cutting-edge graphics of the time. Several of the effects that it uses are just layered squares or rectangles in different colors stretched and squashed over the screen in Mode 7 or something else. But that only applies to about half of the effects in the game, and they're used sparingly throughout aside from the special combat abilities that you can use. If anything, these combat specials are where I feel like the least bit of attention went. Though the attacks make you feel overwhelmingly cool, the animations for them are lackluster and don't have the polish of the rest of the game. Anything that attacks the whole field is shown as a circle expanding. Frog's tongue ability is just several spheres laid in a line, and even the cross attack from Chrono and Frog is just two rectangles stretched across one another. The combat itself, though, is the best implementation of active time battle combat I've ever seen. If you're unfamiliar, active time battle just means that a bar fills up over time as the combat goes on. When the bar fills up, your character can take an action. Chrono Trigger's combat has two settings that they call wait and active. In active mode, the monsters will attack you even if your active time battle gauge, or ATB gauge, is completely filled up. This applies pressure to the player to make decisions quickly and to keep their mind on the game, determining when it's best to use the multitude of character combo attacks, items, or just to defend. Wait has the opposite effect, where the player can take their time in determining which strategy they want to use. But the encounters aren't made any more difficult to compensate for this, so the wait mode can be seen as a sort of easy mode for the combat. The only thing I can really complain about in the combat is that the game's combo attacks between characters were seemingly unfinished. The combos are an excellent idea and allows you to use two characters' ATB gauges at once to unleash a combo ability together. These can range from healing the whole party to applying status effects on all enemies. The problem is that not all character combos are made equal. Several of the characters don't have any combos together at all, and some party makeups are just flat out better than others. This limits replayability for the game, but not in any major way. You're still more than likely to find a party that works for you on your second run. If any of you are curious though, on my first run I used Chrono, Marle, and Frog for the entire game. And yes, I said Marle, not Marley. It's Marle. M-A-R-L-E. I will die on this hill. It's in Final Fantasy VII. They said it in the
I'm Marle, your landlady.
On my second run, I used Chrono, Robo, and Isla. I tried to use Magus, but since he comes in so late in the game, he just feels bad to play. I'm sorry, Magus bros. Each character also comes with their own side story and missions, just like in Mass Effect. Chrono Trigger has 13 endings, and even some post-game content on the DS version to wet your whistle when you're through. That sounds terrible. Hold on, I gotta burp. Ugh. Chrono Trigger has 13 endings and even some post-game content on the DS version to wet your whistle when you're through. What ending you get is determined by when and where you fight the final boss. They range from somber to comedic, and no matter what you'll do, you'll find that your game has been individualized. As far as individualizing the characters though, the equipment and character customization systems are very limited. Chrono will always be the lightning mage, Marle will always be water, and Luca will always be fire. What equipment you use near end game does change up how each player plays a little bit, but for the most part you'll always use each character for their intended purpose every single time that you play the game. No matter how you play Chrono Trigger though, you're likely to have a lovely experience and recommend it to all of your friends. There really isn't a way to play it wrong or have a bad time with the story. Some of the ending content, such as the final party member Magus joining the crew, does feel a bit tacked on, and some of the post-game content and later game side quests feel the same. But the core of what you'll experience is a fantastic and magical journey to another world that will wisp you away into what feels like a dream. Chrono Trigger is only 20 hours long as well. Even if you have very little time for video games, you'll find that it's more than hospitable with its pacing. Chrono Trigger gets a 10 out of 10. Masterpiece. I personally can't recommend it enough, and if you haven't played it, I say you should give it a shot. You can buy it on Steam, Humble Bundle, or even for the iOS if you don't have any of those platforms. The iOS version is about what you would expect quality-wise when considering the platform, but it is still playable and enjoyable in its own right. Buy it today. You won't regret it. Sup?
Christmas video.
Right, Christmas. We recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Christmas. Okay, Christmas. Okay, I'm sure we're all in agreement. By celebrating what is a very dated and infantile product, you would have to be an absolute child to enjoy Evangelion.
Christmas.
Damn it! Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and do all the rest of the call to action stuff that stuff that'll annoy you when I say it. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas. I love you.